Greetings, Vammers. How are you all doing? Joining me today is Cody, that damn cynic.
How you doing, everybody?
How are you doing, Cody?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm here to talk about nerd shit.
Wonderful, so am I, and this particular nerd shit, we're going to be all over it. Why? Soul Calibur VI.
Hell yeah!
Before we begin, a little history about us when it comes to Soul Calibur. Would you like to start off, Cody?
Yeah, sure, why not? Well, I guess my first history with it, the one I remember the least, was back when there was an arcade. Yeah, back when those were common. I would go to one and they would have like a bunch of, well-known arcade games. But the only two I remember are the Simpsons arcade game and Soul Edge. Now, at the time, I didn't know what Soul Edge was. I didn't know what Soul Calibur was. I just saw a fighting game, and I thought the guy with the nunchucks was cool. So I played it with my cousin, and he totally kicked my ass with the guy with the nunchucks. I forget who I was using, but he really liked that guy with the nunchucks.
That would be Maxi, wouldn't it?
No, in Soul Blade, it was Lee Long.
That's right. Wow, you remembered so quickly. Well done.
Well, that's because I've done my research now. But anywho, it doesn't end there. I think my first... the first time I even bothered to get acquainted with it was when Soul Calibur 2 came out. See, I was a huge fucking Zelda and Nintendo fan back then. And I was like, holy shit, Link's gonna be in a fighting game? Fuck yeah, sign me up! And, my friend got the game, we both played it, and I actually ended up liking a lot more about it than just having Link in it. Like, I liked the music, I kind of liked what little story I understood of it at the time. And, just the all-around atmosphere, the fighting game itself, it was just fun. It was fantastic. And now that I know more about it, I like it a lot more, too. I know that story is not the first thing people think about when it comes to fighting games, but for me, it is kind of an important aspect. And, yeah. Anywho, after that, I picked up, Soul Calibur 3, 4, and 5, and... yeah, the rest kind of writes itself at that point. That's my introduction to the series. I really like it. Now today I've actually made a point to collect every Soul Calibur game I can. Like, I actually have 2 copies of Soul Edge and Soul Blade. Yes, I actually imported Soul Edge from Japan, and I own all 3 versions of Soul Calibur 2, PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. The GameCube copy I've owned for years. And I got Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, never popped it in, I just have it just so I can have it. So, and, I guess you could say I'm a fan.
More than fair. In my case, I remember playing it in the arcade as well. Quite sure it was Soul Edge that I played. Whichever one had the PS1 graphics. It was Soul Edge, cool. I had a lot of fun with that. And I actually played Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast with an old friend of mine. I was actually into it because there was some really good gameplay, as well as jiggle physics that actually made sense. I love Ivy, okay? But...
As if absurd jiggle physics are a bad thing.
I know, right? But even so, they knew how to make me appreciate it, while at the same time, ooh, look at that jiggle. Oh shit, I'm gonna die! It's like, I am the game, man. But the first Soul Calibur game I owned was, same reason as you, Soul Calibur 2, because Link was a playable guest character. And damn it...
I'm noticing a recurring theme here.
Oh yeah, because damn it, I played the hell out of that. I still don't understand why one of Link's throws is that he jumps up on his opponent's shoulders, spanks them with his sword, and then tosses them over. I'm looking at that saying, where did that come from?
I bet that was Miyamoto's idea.
Well, who else could it have been? But...
yeah, it's gone on record saying that Miyamoto was very apprehensive about having Link in what he deemed to be a violent game. So I'd like to think he just kind of went up to Namco and went, it's like, okay, I will allow Link in the game, but I want a move where he spanks someone in the ass. Only then will I allow it. So Namco got creative.
Indeed it did. In a very good way, and it seemed to have worked. Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube is actually the third most sold Soul Calibur title of all time, at 1.5 million.
Also, apparently, it was at one point the most sold version of Soul Calibur 2, but eventually, with time, the PS2 version did beat it.
Yeah. By 500,000 copies later, and Soul Calibur 2 on the PS2 is actually the most successful one thus far. Followed by Soul Calibur 4 on the Xbox 360 at 1.58 million. Then it's Soul Calibur 4. Then it's my favorite, Soul Calibur 3, at just over 1 million sales. The one that was originally going to have Dante and possibly Virgil as guest characters.
Apparently Cloud was also considered too, or at least that's what I read.
Actually, yes, they did say that Cloud was going to happen, but because of a few last-minute decisions, they had to cut him out or something like that.
Oh, wait, I think it was something like, they, like, you know, when they got the chance to use Cloud, the game was already too far done to put him in.
Yeah, now that makes sense. That actually sounds familiar. And what an ouch that was, because Cloud would have really belonged in Soul Calibur.
That's one person's opinion.
Well, they could have made him belong. I mean, they made Darth Vader, Yoda, and Starkiller belong.
That was a terrible idea. I don't care how big of a fan of Star Wars you are. That was awful. They were just shilling for Ubisoft, who wanted to advertise for The Force Awakens, and you fucking know it.
Oh, definitely. And it worked, I must admit. But,
well, maybe it worked for some of us.
Yeah. Though, to the game's credit, Force Awakens was amazing. But that's when I actually started...
Look, that don't matter. They shilled, okay? They shilled. There's no excuse for that.
Oh, definitely not. But that's actually when I started to notice when things were going downhill, because Soul Calibur 3, you could argue which is better in terms of gameplay, in terms of Soul Calibur 2 and 3, but Soul Calibur 3 definitely hands down had the story, had the most creative arcade mode. Like, you felt like you had to earn those endings, especially with those QuickTime events. And then you could have a side story for your creator character, which, damn it, I was all over. I spent so much time in Soul Calibur 3. I played it like it was Final Fantasy.
I can relate to that. I mean, fucking... I actually really did like, what was it called? Tales of Souls?
Yes.
No, that was the main arcade version, sorry. Chronicles of the Sword or some shit like that. It was called that. Fun fact, I did beat it when I was younger, and right now I have a save file where I'm on the very last stage and I can't beat it. I can't beat it anymore. My old man reflexes just can't do it no more. God damn it, I'm trying, but I just can't beat it.
Cody, come on, man. Yeah, you can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. Just remember that. But then along came Soul Calibur 4, sorry. And...
Sorry, go ahead. No.
No worries. But then along came Soul Calibur 4, and there was actually a lot of missing content. Like, I remember in Soul Calibur 3, there were so many side challenges, including fighting a friggin' statue.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Yes, and other time events and other things like that. Like, they were so much fun to do. And they always felt rewarding, even if you didn't get anything at the end. You just felt like you were the mightiest badass, and that was the thing. Like, you could argue the Soul Calibur 2, or 5 now, had the better gameplay, but Soul Calibur 3 was the most involving. At least it was for me.
I agree. I'm tripping over my words here.
That's fine. But then Soul Calibur 4 happened, and yeah, the arcade endings were still there at least, and the graphics were improved, and the creator character was vastly improved, but then there were just some things which broke the game as well, like those critical finishes. What the hell?
I rarely ever saw critical finishers in action too, because the requirements to use them was so friggin' narrow. Like, you had to like knock all their armor off, and I think your health had to be like really low. Like, I know there was some really strict requirements to do them.
Yeah, and it just made no sense in the end. But it was funny to see Cassandra do it. She just bashes the opponent on the head with the axe. Then
confession time. Cassandra is my secret waifu. That's no longer a secret. And seeing that finisher, damn it!
It makes a boo man become a booty man.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I don't know. Despite the fact that my groin area was very much involved in that scene, I can't say that my brain area was. I mean, to me, it kind of felt like just the whole thing just kind of like it kind of lowered my opinion for the series a little bit. Not because I'm a fucking prude, but because the whole concept of critical finishers was just dumb to begin with.
It was. They fixed that with Soul Calibur V, ironically. But the other thing that was weird with Soul Calibur 4, they did not care about the mouth movements at all when it came to the English dub.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Oh, a lot of games don't, in its defense, but yeah, at the same time, yeah. I think like the previous games had some kind of mechanism to like the voices. Excuse me, the mouths would move to the words, but I think that was automatic, so they didn't really have to work toward it at that point.
No, but there was a system which BioWare, I believe, was one of the people who actually really made it work in the Knights of the Old Republic games. Like just the way the mouth moved and closed when certain syllables and plosives were used.
It was probably something along those lines too. Like it was probably the same idea. But then when you had like the FMV cutscenes from 4, then yeah, it becomes a little more tricky to mouth the lip movements.
Yes. I personally don't mind if they do a Kingdom Hearts and actually make the mouth movements match the English, as long as the acting is strong enough to uphold it. Which,
well, that takes extra work, because then they'd have to rebuild the FMV.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't know if Project Soul had the money back then. But then, along came Soul Calibur V.
Oh, yes, the black sheep of the franchise. Well, there's probably a few others that deserve that title, but as far as the main entry is concerned, yeah, that's the black sheep.
And, God, it was so disappointing. It was one of the games where I actually felt betrayed, even though I could tell that there was genuine effort involved.
Well, here's the thing. It's just like, it was one of those games that it wasn't finished. It was rushed out the door.
Completely. I mean, to be fair, it arguably has the best gameplay, at least until Soul Calibur 6 comes out. Arguably the best gameplay of all the Soul Calibur games.
We don't know that yet. I mean, we've seen footage. It looks promising. It looks good. But I'm going to reserve my judgment for how the gameplay feels until I actually have the controller in my hands. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Which is why I say until Soul Calibur 6 is out and showing and everything, I'm definitely going to say that Soul Calibur 5 probably holds the stand in that regard. But everything. Okay, the creator character was amazing as well. It had...
absolutely.
For its time, it had pretty much everything you could ask for. The only thing that it didn't have was a slider to change the character's arse size. That was it. That was actually the only thing missing. Everything else was just spot on. Especially the secret Jin Kazama fighting style. That was a cool touch.
It wasn't that secret, was it?
Well, it wasn't promoted, so...
And it wasn't just Jin, it was Devil Jin. I just thought I should clarify that.
Highly appreciated. And, of course, great gameplay, great multiplayer. And then...
Oh, the online was fantastic.
Oh, definitely.
That was like... Yeah.
And then, of course, there was only the most interesting man in your life, a.k.a. Ezio Auditore di Firenze.
For some reason, I thought you were going to bring up Dampierre.
Well, are you from the Bellow? God, he's such a weird character.
I love Dampierre. He's like one of my favorite characters, even though he barely has any fucking point to be in the game.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I just said that he's weird. But he's an awesome kind of weird.
He is. He's also a real bastard, too.
And that's just what makes it all the better. Yeah, but
Yeah, fun fact. They don't show this in the, They do not show this in the story, but apparently Dampierre, sold Pyrrha into slavery at some point.
Well, damn.
That's how much of a piece of shit he is, so...
And the thing is, that's the thing about Soul Calibur, which a lot of fans love, and it is the story. I mean, I look at this, I'm going, Okay. Harada, the guy who made Tekken, take notes, because that was amazing. All the way up until Soul Calibur 4, for the most part, the story was just incredible. But then Soul Calibur 5 happened, and all I keep saying is just, what the hell's going on?
Like I said, it was probably just a bunch of mismanagement and shit. Like, I actually have the making of DVD right here. Yes, I actually shilled for the collector's edition back in the day. I semi-regret that, but it did come with a nice art book. But yeah, there's actually the making of DVD, and if you watch it, they actually had a lot more planned for this than what was in the finished product.
Oh, yes, but the problem is...
I think...
Sorry.
I think the main issue was that they got too ambitious. They got too ambitious, so they couldn't get everything they wanted in to meet the deadline. And, this is what we got.
Yes, I remember I actually made a post on this on the Facebook page, where, let's see, Dynasty, I believe his name was, when he was talking about a clickbait video, which I wish wasn't clickbait. Saying, yes, if the end of the series, if Soul Calibur 6 isn't successful, says head producer. Which...
Oh, yeah, Soul Calibur 5 really hurt the brand. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to attribute this to just Soul Calibur 5. I'm also going to attribute this to Soul Calibur Lost Souls, that god-awful free-to-play game, and I think it was called Soul Calibur Unbreakable Soul. It was for, mobile phones, and I didn't even know about it until after it went down. I heard it only lasted, less than a year.
Yeah, and, just so many bad ideas. There are some games which just don't work for mobile. Period.
Apparently it was kind of like, it was made into a card game or some shit like that.
And that's really dumb. I'm sorry.
I don't know, Mortal Kombat kind of did the same. No, wait, it wasn't Mortal Kombat that did that. Fuck. Whatever. There was another series that kind of had a similar idea.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I guess Soul Calibur tried to copy it. I don't know, okay, as for, the failings of, the idea to make it free to play and the idea to, for the mobile game, that probably all came from head office. That all probably came from Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco. Yeah, that probably all came from the publisher. Those kind of bad business decisions usually come from the publisher. So I don't think Project Soul would be entirely to blame in that regard. But let me tell you something about Soul Calibur Lost Swords. Hey, you never know, this might also be another reason why Soul Calibur 5 turned out the way it did. The one thing that actually drew me to Soul Calibur Lost Swords was the fact that you could play as legacy characters again, like Sophitia and Taki and
Mitsurugi.
Yeah. Well, Mitsurugi was in 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point is, it had the legacy characters that were missing from 5. And they replaced them with these fucking stupid, lame-ass next-generation characters that no one cared about.
Definitely.
But anyway, that was one of the reasons what drew me to Lost Swords, and I just thought it was such a waste because I saw what these characters looked like through the Soul Calibur 5 engine, and it's oh my god, they look gorgeous. Why couldn't they be in Soul Calibur 5? And there was even ideas and costumes that looked really good that they could have also put in 5, but they did. There was so many good ideas in this game that could have been put in 5. But no, it was they made them for 5, and then someone from head office was just hey, those look real neat. Hey, I just got this idea for a free-to-play game. Let's take all the best ideas and put them in there.
Wow.
So, yeah, I kind of feel betrayed in that regard. And as for gameplay mechanics, there was some neat ideas there. They had kind of I forget exactly how it was, but I think it was you know what? I probably should have done my research on this so I could remind myself. But whatever, I'm going to go off the cuff and try and go off by my shitty memory, so here I go. There was kind of this half-ass story mode where you'd pick your character. You could pick between 3 characters and unlock more as you go. I picked Sophitia out of the 3 that were available. I think it was Mitsurugi, Nightmare, and Sophitia. And, yeah, you can earn, in-game currency to purchase things, But obviously, they're all at every turn they're going to try to incentivize you to use real money to buy things. And there are some things in the store that you can only buy with real money. And that's where like the really neat costumes come in too. Like you can only get those with real money. And it was so bullshit. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why again, like why couldn't these just be in Soul Calibur 5?
And that's where EA got the brilliant idea for microtransactions.
Oh no, I doubt it. They're just rotten to the core. They probably came up with it on their own. They don't actually play video games.
Definitely not, it shows.
And yeah, again, I just look at Soul Calibur Lost Swords, and I see all the lost potential for Soul Calibur 5. It really disappointed me.
Yeah, hang on, wasn't that the one that had Kratos as a guest character?
No, you're thinking of Soul Calibur Broken Destiny on the PSP.
That's the one.
Yes, Kratos was in it. And funny enough, later on he would also go on to be in Mortal Kombat, which some might say he is a much better fit for him.
Oh, definitely. Out of all the guest characters so far, Link, I think, is obviously the best fit. Followed by Ezio.
He's definitely the most popular, in my opinion. Well, that's not an opinion. He is the most popular.
Without a doubt.
In fact, that's the main reason why people are clamoring for a Switch version of Soul Calibur 6, because they want to see Link make a return.
Oh, I would love that. I would happily buy the PS4 version and the Switch version just for Link. I'm saying that right now to all the project heads who are in charge of Soul Calibur 6, make it happen, because I will buy both copies if you do that.
Well, they said it might be a possibility, after the initial launch. So you never know, like, I think the main blockade about it is just, like, the inferior hardware of the Switch, and the fact that it has trouble running Unreal Engine 4. I know they managed to get Doom running on it, but if I remember right, I think they're using kind of like a mobile version of Unreal Engine 4. Maybe they can do the same thing with Soul Calibur 5, 6. Maybe they don't. Maybe they can't. I don't know. Only time can tell.
Yeah, but they'll figure it out. Nintendo's very good at that. Their PR kind of sucks, but everything else about them's amazing.
Oh, I agree. Their PR sucks, but here's the thing. Nintendo wouldn't be the ones trying to figure a way around that. That would all be Namco.
Yeah. Well, even so, Nintendo would have a stake in it if they're going to put Soul Calibur 6 on their thing. But that's neither here nor there. We've actually, I think, given enough hardship to the Soul Calibur franchise now, because the thing is, I still love the hell out of it.
Oh, me too. And I want it to succeed. Do not get me wrong here, but if they can't, if they can't bring it back to former glory, if Soul Calibur 6, for whatever reason, comes up dead in the water, then, hey, at least from the looks of it, it's gonna go out big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't sell because of the really bad press and the really bad publicity, like, that's something that really upsets me about, like, whenever people talk about Soul Calibur 6, it's always about something bad. Like, Tira being Day 1 DLC, which I do not approve of. I just want to get that out there. I don't approve of that. But it's always something bad. And that's kind of worrying. I'm afraid this might turn people outside of the core fan base away from it, and that will affect sales.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't really fault them for having that opinion either. So I feel very split on this. But I'll say it again. If this turns out to be the last one, then at least it's going to go out big. At least we'll have the perfect Soul Calibur game to go out on.
Oh, for sure.
It'll end on a high note.
Definitely. But actually, on that note, when I mentioned Cloud earlier, I remember seeing apparent leaks for when... was it E3? It was I think it was E3, when they were talking about Soul Calibur 6 potentials. They were apparently going to have Cloud, Tifa, and Sephiroth.
I saw that same leak, and I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now.
Of course not now. It never happened. But thinking about it, that would actually be a really smart move to do, because, again, Final Fantasy VII...
Because you're a fucking Final Fantasy VII fanboy, that's why.
Exactly.
That's why.
Oh, exactly. But here's the thing. Final Fantasy VII fanboys and Final Fantasy VII fangirls will always buy anything Final Fantasy VII related.
Oh my god, you're saying they should just put them in so people will buy it.
Well, yeah. Mate, anything to save Soul Calibur, I'm willing to cheat.
No, dude, if you win by cheating, you didn't actually win. In fact, you're destroying the integrity of the series. I disagree with that.
Well, maybe, but this is war. I don't mind cheating for war.
No, I disagree with that. No. And you just want to see Sephiroth in a Soul Calibur game. Admit it.
Well, yes. Well, who wouldn't? Okay, besides you.
I couldn't care one way or the other, but if he was only put in there just to sell copies, then fuck it. Like, at least with Gerald, like, okay, I'm not a Witcher fan, I'll get that out of the way. But Gerald makes sense. He fits. Actually, you know what? I would say he even fits more than Ezio does.
Without a doubt.
So, I don't mind Gerald. I don't. Or Geralt, however it's pronounced. Again, not a Witcher fan. Never played the games.
Yeah, but he fits perfectly. He really does. And actually, since Witcher 3 is also so massive, that would actually get some people involved as well. In fact, how many copies did Witcher 3 sell?
I have no idea, but I also know that the books are really popular too.
Yes, like, again, Witcher 3, great gameplay, great story. Let's see. I'm looking it up on the VG charts right now, so... Let's see.
That's fine.
Witcher... Come on, don't be slow on me. Forgive me, Vammers. Here's some music while we wait. There we go. I mean, look at this. Witcher 3 sold millions. On the PS4, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, 5.12 million on the PS4.
Shit, that was just a port too.
Yeah. Wild Hunt on the Xbox One, however, was 1.62 million. That's interesting.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, the Xbox One had a really small install base back then. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, not at all. And the PC version, just under 1 million. So, yeah, it could really make it work. Witcher 3 is popular enough. They were smart enough to do that. As well as, well, they all, to their credit as well, they try to make the characters work. They even tried to make the Star Wars characters work. That's the thing. They try and make the guest characters work into the story somehow, even though you know they're never going to be seen again. You have to admit, that's impressive.
If you read the biographies, yeah, then you could totally see that, for sure. But at the same time, I'm just like, I know it's a shill. Like, okay, I know I'm abusing the hell out of this word shill, but there really is no better word for it.
Yeah,
like,
sadly.
they just kind of spread their anuses out for Ubisoft, and they're like, fuck me, silly daddy Ubisoft, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me.
Jeez, tell them how you really
feel.
Did.
Shit. That's exactly what happened, too.
Didn't quite work out, though. Worked with Link.
And George Lucas was there with the lube, too. He wanted to watch.
Yeah, though George Lucas isn't that much of a shill. He actually does try to actually give creativity, sometimes to the wrong people. But
oh no, I just wanted to bring up George Lucas with
there.
the lube. Yeah.
Of course you did. You and your fetishes, man.
Hey, don't judge me. I don't judge yours.
Well, Ivy's my bae. Oh no, I said bae.
That's it! You're cancelled!
Indeed. Time to end the podcast. Bye.